Well, welcome to Beyond the Scoreboard, Week 5. Are you believing this?
I like it. Week number 5.
Last weekend in September. I mean, it's just about gone.
It finally felt like football weather out there a little bit tonight.
Yes, it was fairly cool out there. We had some big games going on tonight. Most of them were non-region games this week, though. It was just sort of a competition among people who like to play each other and take a lot of pride in that. So we have some big games coming up among county rivals. We have some games coming up among just teams in different classifications.
Right,
and things
very
like
interesting matchups going
on. And before we got in here, we had some delightful pizza, didn't we?
Yeah, you know, that's becoming one of my favorite things about Friday night. I've grew up around football, always loved football, so I look forward to football on Friday night, but also getting to come in here and eat Domino's pizza is something I look forward to all week. I've had that Honolulu, Hawaii, so I've been to Honolulu. They hooked me up with Memphis barbecue last week, and now this week I was in Philadelphia with a Philly cheesesteak pizza, and the first two were good. They were 10s, but this one right here, I think it might be a 12. It was great.
It seemed to ring a bell.
Yeah.
You know, Philadelphia, you know, we got the Liberty Bell. But anyway, we'll go on and start with our coverage of football for a while. Get over the eating spell. And before we get on to the football, we'll talk about cars.
All right.
My wife has a beautiful Buick that, you know, is just, well, I don't know. It just doesn't look like what you'd think of as a Buick. It just, you know, is sharp and sort of small, not real big car, but it, you know, it's just got it at Bill Smith Buick.
Yeah, in addition to the pizza that I get to eat every Friday night, I also get to ride around with you every Friday night, and I enjoy riding around in that vehicle. Yep. Appreciate those guys like Southern Accents and Coca-Cola who make this show possible.
Yes.
What an opportunity to pour into the lives of young people and get some footage of them and just kind of support their community. We appreciate those guys.
And some exit places to go and do a little bit of shopping and stuff, you know, no matter what you're looking for. But anyway, as we get in, Team of the Week this week, based upon last week's performance, is the Coleman Bearcats.
I'm sure all of our viewers could have probably guessed that.
Yeah, big win. First time they've beaten Hartselle in 6 years, I believe, or 6 games maybe. But it was a big win for them, a big loss for Hartselle.
Yeah.
I mean, both of those schools, they go into that one, you know, that's the one that they circle every year. That's the big game for them.
Well, and that region is so competitive with Muscle Shoals and Russellville and Athens and Coleman and Hartselle, so it hurts anytime you lose one, and that gives Coleman a leg up and on their way to pursuing a healthy seed, hopefully, there in the playoffs. They've been playing football at Coleman for 97 years, so they ought to be pretty good at it.
97.
Each week, Coleman Electric Cooperative and TV 27 in Coleman recognize one of our local high school teams as our Team of the Week. And when it comes to Coleman High School football, it doesn't get any bigger than beating the Hartselle Tigers. So, Coach Britton, in recognition of your team's victory last week against Hartselle, we want to congratulate you and your team. We've got T-shirts recognizing the Coleman High School as our Team of the Week. Coach, congratulations.
Well, back to us again, and Beyond the Scoreboard air times, you know, we do it live right now, but then it can be seen again on Saturday mornings at 9 o'clock, Sunday afternoons at 1:30, Tuesday afternoon, late afternoon, evening at 6 o'clock, and then Friday afternoon again at 4 o'clock. So if you can't stay up tonight, or if you just want to see a repeat, then you can look forward to seeing it again at those air times. But good to have you with us tonight on Beyond the Scoreboard, and we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
One of these can be the most dangerous tools you can own, because if you're careless, even for a minute, this can come into contact with those. Then it's lights out. At our Touchstone Energy Cooperative, nothing is more important than the safety of our members. We can't do it all. The best way to be safe around outdoor power lines, just don't touch them. Ever. The first rule of every do-it-yourselfer should be do it safely.
Coleman Electric Cooperative.
Time is running out on Truck Month at Bill Smith Buick GMC in Coleman, where you'll find the largest selection of GMC trucks in Alabama at prices lower than we have seen in years. Like this all-new 2012 Crew Cab 4x4 Z71 loaded with leather and turn-by-turn navigation. Only $32,990 with 0% financing for 72 months. And this regular cab GMC Sierra only $16,590 with 0% financing for 72 months. Or lease this 2012 Terrain only $339 a month. It's all going on now at Bill Smith Buick GMC in Coleman.
Southern Accents is one of the nation's largest architectural salvage and restoration businesses. Visit our showroom to view our collection of antique doors, mantels, chandeliers, salvaged wood, and more. See our wood shop for your custom-built doors and wood flooring needs. Southern Accents, located in historic downtown Coleman. See us on the web at www.sa1969.com.
When you need to get back into the game, don't let an injury stop you. Trust the professionals of Encore Rehabilitation and Sports Medicine of Coleman. Our skilled team of physical therapists and athletic trainers is dedicated to returning athletes back into action quickly and safely. Encore Rehabilitation of Coleman provides physical therapy, occupational therapy, sports medicine, and workers' comp rehab. Choose Encore for all your rehab needs. Call 256-775-3737.
All right, welcome back to Beyond the Scoreboard. And the first thing we'll do right now is go over some scores from our local teams tonight. So our guest host, Benjamin Smothers, is going to be with us this week, but he said he just couldn't stand any more of me for a while. He's going to need a break. So Robin Netherton's going to be back with us next week as our guest host. But right now, Coach Benjamin is going to call out our scores of our local schools.
Absolutely, and we were trying to get a hold of Coach Miller there, but we couldn't get a hold of him. But they were big winners tonight out there over West Point. That was Hanceville beating West Point 45-22. We had Good Hope falling to New Hope by a score of 55-27. Faulkville defeated Summerton Christian 40-0. It was Fairview over Holly Pond 47-14. And Coleman falls on the road to Madison Academy by a score of 28-10. It was Cold Springs winning big tonight, 68-34 over Lynn. We've yet to see the Cleveland and West End score, but we do know that Brewer defeated Vinemont tonight, 61-6. It was Addison over Appalachian, 48-0, and that's all the local scores that we have at this time.
Okay.
You getting Coach Miller on the
phone
there?
Trying to, on my phone there. We'll put him on the speakerphone. I think that's what that is, so not much of a phone guy. But anyway, we have some footage here of the West Point and Hanceville game. A really good ball game. It was 24-22 at halftime with Hanceville leading. And, the second half, Hanceville, they seem to be coming into a second half team because the last 3 weeks they've really pretty much dominated the second half of their ball game.
Well, they must be conditioned well. They've played some hard-fought ball games.
Yep.
And then we are trying to get a hold of Coach Miller again. Hopefully we can get him on the phone here pretty soon.
All right. But anyway, it was a good ball game going on. I went out and saw, I was at Addison the first half, and then I came back and stopped at West Point, watched the second half of this, or a good bit of the second half of this. And it was really a hard-hitting ball game. Both teams moved the ball fairly successfully.
Well, you mentioned it being a hard-hitting ball game. That's something that we have noticed from Hanceville the past couple of weeks as we've got to see them. They are a physical team as they run that smash mouth football as far as on the offensive side of the ball, and then they're those guys in the secondary are not scared to come up and hit people as well.
No, West Point seemed to have an ability to throw the ball a little bit, especially on quick slant patterns. They were able to hit that quick slant 3 or 4 times on when they needed big yardage, and they was able to get 15, 16, 18 yards on it several times. Their quarterback really did a good job of putting it right into his receiver's hands on those. And there you see a
good game, and also one of those hard hits that those guys from Huntsville like to deliver.
Another quick screen out there, and Dubberly, I believe, might be. But anyway, good throw out there and a good run. And here they are down, looks like they're getting ready to score. They're getting close, lost his helmet there. Big first down run. And Huntsville did a good job defensively of stopping the run, and they made West Point have to throw. And that's not exactly what they want to do. Their game is sort of a mixture, but there you see an open receiver again, a good throw, and sort of a desperation throw. He was in tough. He was being really pressured. But their young quarterback there made several throws like that, and then they had a couple of penalties in the second half where he was throwing the ball and he was being pressured very much, and he had to throw the ball and get rid of it, and they had a couple of grounding calls on them that hurt some drives that they had.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, the quarterback at West Point, I think he's the coach's son.
Yes,
I think I remember hearing that. So he's a headsy ball player. He probably really understands the game, and probably puts him in a situation to have some success
but you
on
can
many
see,
occasions.
Yeah, you can see right there the pressure that he's getting. West Point successfully kicked an onside kick, and then come out in the first play they fumble the ball. But anyway, it was a really tough, tight ball game, hard running right there by the Huntsville team. But it was a tough ball game, and Huntsville, as I said, was up 24-22 at halftime. But then in the second half, was able to reel off 21 points, unanswered points. So came away with a final of 45-22, I believe was the final score.
And that sets Huntsville up nicely to go into the last half of the season with some tough region games coming up. They'll play Winfield next week, and I believe Winfield's undefeated in that region. Is that right?
They were, yeah, and they still are in the region. And they were undefeated overall until tonight. Yeah. And they lost the first ball game of the year that they've lost. So both of them will be 4-1 when they go in.
Yeah, and with that injury bug hitting Good Hope, it looks like it's going to be tough for them to maintain their winning ways there in that region. It's a tough region, so it could wind up to where Huntsville will have an opportunity to finish first in that region.
Good chance. And Vinemont, of course, went down to Huntsville last week, but this week even experienced a worse fate. Yeah. And losing to Brewer on the road. But Vinemont will. They're still 3-1 in region.
They have a really good shot, and plus they'll have some of those guys who are hurt coming back. So that's going to be an interesting region as we work toward the end of the season. Yeah,
there's about 5 schools that are going to really be in the thick of things there.
And it's a shame to say there's 5 schools who would probably be pretty good playoff teams, and one of them will have to stay at home at the end of the year.
All right. We have some more footage coming up of Holly Pond and Fairview, I do believe. So
this is where I was tonight there for the first half, and this is one of those games that's a big rivalry. Just about 7 miles apart. They always look forward to playing each other. Holly Pond tried the opening kickoff with an onside kick, hoping to get some momentum there, hopefully get the ball, because Fairview's offense, it can be hard to stop. They spread the field, they try to go up tempo, so Holly Pond wanted to get the ball to hopefully run some time off the clock, but it wound up bouncing Fairview's way, and they were able to score within 2 plays. And again, we see it every week. Holly Pond has they have a young team. Yep. They have a new coach, and they're going to go through some growing pains as they attempt to get that program headed in the right direction. But they do have successful plays from time to time. It's just that they struggle to put those successful plays together consistently. If they could ever string them together, they could get some things rolling. But Holly Pond will hang in there, and they'll keep playing hard, and I have confidence that Coach Bates will get them on the right track.
And getting confidence is the biggest obstacle for a young team to overcome. You know, they've been on junior high level and did pretty well, but as they come on up on the varsity level, and as you said, there's a lot of young kids that are starting on this team. And so it's going to take them a while to develop the confidence that they need in order to compete with those juniors and seniors that are starting for everybody else. And Fairview's coming around. They've got several new starters this year, but their quarterback is beginning to understand a little bit more about what he needs to be doing. He's developing some leadership skills, and he's got some receivers that they're getting used to each other. So, you know, they're going to be getting a lot better. And they have I think it's a sophomore running back that's really coming around for them and having a great deal of success, having 100-yard games and stuff. So, you know, as they continue to go through the season, I know they're going to continue to get better. And who does Fairview have next week?
Fairview will get back into region play with St. Clair County next week. And as I was thinking about them getting ready to play that game, you know, this week, getting that victory over Holly Pond, of course, it's always good to beat your rival. But at the same time, I know there were a lot of younger kids who got to spend a lot of playing time tonight, which means that your starters get to rest a little bit. You don't get so beat up. So Fairview hopefully will have some confidence and be well rested as they head into the second half of the season, hoping to get some region victories and make their way to the playoffs.
All right, and Coach Redding is, you know, been there. I think this is his 7th year or something like that. So a lot of continuity in their program and in what they've been doing. And I'll try to get Coach Redding and see if I can get him on the phone here for just a little bit. And if I can, Coach Redding, Coach Smothers, how you doing tonight? Let me get you on speaker. I believe I got you there now.
Yeah, okay. How are you, Coach?
Oh, we're just fine. We're just watched some footage of your game tonight, and y'all seem to have everything clicking tonight.
Well, we felt like we started out quick and started out fast, and that was important for us. It really was.
Yeah, and you scoring first? Two plays took to score that first touchdown, and then sounds like your defense played pretty well also.
Defense did. The defense played well. I felt like we played well, in all the phases, and that was important for us. You know, I think the thing for us, here lately is try to build on some consistency. You know, we've had some times where things kind of go well and then we hurt ourselves. So it was important for us to try to overcome some of those mistakes and try to get some consistency about what we're doing on both sides of the ball. We're trying to eliminate all those mental mistakes.
Well, it's as we talked about a little bit earlier, it's as far as experience in game situations, you got several new starters, so it's going to take a little bit of time to get them adjusted and take leadership roles. But it looks like your quarterback, and I know you've got a young running back, and both of those seem to be really figuring out what they're supposed to be doing and doing a much better job of it.
Yeah, they really are. They've come a long way. Our running back, Austin Harris, he's a sophomore. We're excited about him and what he's been able to do and been able to accomplish. And each and every week, I think he becomes more and more of a true running back. He's learning to eliminate some of those cuts and make those one cuts and try to get upfield more. And he's doing a better job each and every week of taking care of the football and stuff and trying to be an every down back. And we're excited about where Hayden is. Hayden has continued to improve each and every week too, and he's doing a great job of reading defenses and managing the game and things like that. And that's important for us at where we're at with our team is trying to eliminate bad plays and keep ourselves out of bad situations.
Well, it's extremely important that your quarterback be good, and Coach Benjamin has a word or so.
Coach Redding, appreciate you joining us here. I'm co-hosting with Mark tonight. I noticed that you got the opportunity to put a lot of you younger guys in there tonight, and I know that sometimes they don't get in the headlines much. Can you speak to how some of them performed and maybe call out some names for us of what to expect in the future there at Fairview?
Sure, we were excited to see our young guys come in that second half, and the important thing for we were hoping all our guys is to finish. And we were talking about not only just finishing on the field but off the field, everything we do in every phase. And so I was pleased with where our guys came in. The young guys came in and played at a high level. I think Ray actually came in at quarterback, did an outstanding job of managing it and running the clock. Clock management I think was outstanding. Brandon Richter, he's an older guy for us. but he hasn't had a ton of work in the backfield, but I think he did an outstanding job. I think he ended up, grinding out about 80-something yards in the second half. I was excited to see that. We got, some good young receivers with Clayton here and Antonio Taylor, Ethan Johnson, some of those guys. So I was pleased to see those guys come in and get into the Friday Night Lights and, and kind of perform at a high level.
Well, next week, back into region play. And you have
St. Clair County.
St. Clair County. And they have sort of been up and down so far this year, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. But one thing they will have is that they're going to be coached up well, they're going to be schemed up well, and they got outstanding speed. They're definitely explosive.
Yeah.
They seem to, from what we've been able to see so far, they seem to live off the big play, and that's tough. That'll be something that we'll have to definitely adjust to is the speed of the game. Also we're on the road, and so it'll be, which it's a road environment, but we've got 6 away games this year, so it's just kind of part of the deal this year. So it's something we gotta be able to take care of in a hurry. But we're 1-2 in the region, so our backs are we're kind of backed up in a corner here. So it's important for us to come out hard, come out fast next week in order to try to stay in the hunt.
Well, Coach, good luck to you next week and in the following weeks, and we appreciate you being with us tonight.
Coach, thank you for having us. We appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you. All right. Now we get on to our band of the week this week. And this week, our band of the week is Good Hope High School, the Raider Band. So we've got a few footage of them.
Along with Good Hope's rifle team, get ready for rock and roll, man, along with feeling satisfied. Ladies and gentlemen, playing Boston's greatest hits, your 140-member Good Hope Raider marching band. Next, the Raider drum line, dance line, and feature twirler.
One of these can be the most dangerous tools you can own, because if you're careless, even for a minute, this can come into contact with those. Then it's lights out. At our Touchstone Energy Cooperative, nothing is more important than the safety of our members. We can't do it all. The best way to be safe around outdoor power lines, just don't touch them. Ever. The first rule of every do-it-yourselfer should be do it safely.
Coleman Electric Cooperative.
Southern Accents is one of the nation's largest architectural salvage and restoration businesses. Visit our showroom to view our collection of antique doors, mantels, chandeliers, salvaged wood, and more. See our wood shop for your custom-built doors and wood flooring needs. Southern Accents, located in historic downtown Coleman. See us on the web at www.sa1969.com.
Time is running out on Truck Month at Bill Smith Buick GMC in Coleman, where you'll find the largest selection of GMC trucks in Alabama at prices lower than we have seen in years. Like this all-new 2012 Crew Cab 4x4 Z71 loaded with leather and turn-by-turn navigation. Only $32,990 with 0% financing for 72 months. And this regular cab GMC Sierra only $16,590 with 0% financing for 72 months. Or lease this 2012 Terrain only $339 a month. It's all going on now at Bill Smith Buick GMC in Coleman.
From the Heart Monogramming and Gifts has just the gift you need for that special someone. Find a tote bag or build a bow. Peruse our selection of baby items. Or choose a nice piece of jewelry by Chameleon. And while you're here, let us take care of all your monogramming needs. From the Heart Monogramming and Gifts. The best gifts are from the heart.
Welcome back to Beyond the Scoreboard. Now we've got a little bit of footage, I think, from the Cold Springs and Lynn ball game, which Cold Springs had a big win out there tonight.
There's Coach Miller
I have
on the phone right now.
on the phone Coach Miller from Huntsville. We missed him a little bit earlier, but while we're looking at a little bit of Cold Springs and Lynn, we'll try to talk with Coach Miller for just a second about their success tonight, especially in the second half. Coach Miller?
Yes, sir.
We appreciate you being on with us. And then at halftime, 24-22, it was a very close ball game, and it could have gone either way. And the way things started the second half, both teams moved the ball fairly successfully without getting any points. And then you were able to get it in the end zone, and things, the fourth quarter, just seemed like was all Huntsville.
Well, you're right. We did fully get rolling there in the third quarter, and but we knew going in, people talking about, well, West Point's struggling and all that, and they have struggled, but they've struggled in a really, really tough league, and they're not playing 3A football, but we knew those guys would come out and get after us, and they did, and we defensively, we didn't play very well in the first half, and we made some adjustments for our coaches. Coach Satterfield and Coach Bateman made some adjustments at halftime. And some of the things sort of helped us out there as we go in the late third quarter and into the fourth quarter.
Well, I really thought the difference in the ball game primarily was the pressure you were able to put on the quarterback from West Point.
Right. We'd worked on some things that we thought Mike could do, but we thought their offensive and defensive line was pretty good. And they moved the ball on people in those 5A games that they played, and a lot of that was due in part to that big offensive line they got up front. And but we moved some people around defensively and brought some pressure from linebackers and stuff, and we're pretty successful throughout the game doing that.
Okay. Well, congratulations on another big win, and you've got a big game coming up next week with Winfield. Well, Winfield's undefeated in region play right now. They took it on the chin tonight at Haleville, but they haven't lost a region game yet.
Right, that's exactly right. They're undefeated in the region, and basically they're in first place in the region right now, and I think there's 3 of us. tied for second place in the region.
And y'all got them at home.
Right, yeah, they do come to us next week. Our kids are looking forward to the challenge.
Okay. Well, congratulations on your win tonight, and good luck next week and the rest of the year, and appreciate you being with us tonight.
Thank you.
All right. Bye. That was Coach Miller. And here we have a little more footage of Lynn and Cold Springs, which, this started out as being sort of a tight game. And it didn't look, well, it looked like from the beginning. I mean, here we are in the first quarter, and it's already 16-6, which, but here's a fumble that a Lynn player just did a great job of raking the ball out of the hands of while he was being tackled. And it's just a super job by that Lynn player to get the ball out of his hands. And here they coming back with a reverse, and Coach Springs is in great position. And Coach Elliott does a super job out there with them as far as having them in position, knowing what they're supposed to be doing, and then taking advantage of the athletes that he has and putting them in the right place. And they've had quite a bit of success this year. And then tonight, what was the final score?
Cold Springs scored 68 points tonight. They doubled Lynn up, 68 to 34. It sounds like it was kind of an offensive highlight reel, and whichever defense was able to come up with a stop was going to win the ball game. And I think Cold Springs made a few more stops than what Lynn was able to do.
Well, obviously they did, about twice as many.
Yep.
And we're seeing right now a goal line stand that Cold Springs makes here in the first half, and that is it maintains a halftime lead.
Yeah, and you never know how that momentum may work, because I think the score at halftime was like a 28-22 or 32-22. So I mean, that's a big swing right there to be able to keep Lynn out of the end zone.
Yep. And then here they come back, and Cold Springs does a good job running that wing tee, but they also have spread out a little bit and have been quite successful with that too. But right now they're running the ball right down their throat.
Exactly, and with the footage that we're seeing here, because neither one of us were able to be there, I wonder if that was a drive from after the goal line stand all the way the length of the field to put that ball in the end zone. If so, that's an impressive kind of drive.
Yeah, and one of those things that really takes the air out of the defense or the other team's sails and puts a lot into yours. So anyway, big win for Cold Springs, getting back on the winning streak tonight, and in a big way. And Lynn has traditionally had a pretty good football team. They play pretty good football.
They play good football. They'll play hard. They're going to hit you hard, and they're going to get after it. And they win a lot of ball games.
So congratulations to Coach Elliott and the Cold Springs Eagle. Big win tonight, getting back on the winning streak. And who do they have next week?
They have Francis Marion next week.
Francis Marion. And is that at Francis Marion?
It is at Francis Marion. And later on, when we get into the region standings, we'll find out just what Francis Marion has done this year and see what kind of game Cold Springs will be expecting.
Okay. Oh, well, another thing we do about this time of the program each week is we have some church sponsors, excellent church sponsors, that bring us some FCA Athlete of the Week usually. But this week we thought we'd feature a guy who is working in the FCA program with student associations all through Coleman County and Blount County.
That's my fault. It's good. I didn't.
And so Walt Guess, I believe, is the guy that we're going to have the interview with. And there's a chance that we may have a different footage on there, but I think it's going to be Walt Guess. If not, it's going to be Daniel Moss, who is Coach Moss's son. And he's at Good Hope, and he does, he's a very intelligent young man. But I think they may have Daniel. We might be saving Walt for later in the year.
Well, as they get that footage worked out, we'll just mention how we appreciate our church sponsors.
And we can tell you who are some of those.
Well, St. John's is one of those church sponsors that we appreciate making this part of the show possible. And then also you have Daystar, who is out there around the Good Hope area, and Good Hope was our band of the week this week, so we just appreciate that part of the county and appreciate these churches doing what they do to make this part of the show possible.
All right, well, let's roll that reel and we'll see who our FCA Student Athlete of the Week is.
I became a Christian at age 6, actually on the way home, driving home in the car, and it has been a great journey. The most important impact on my faith, I guess, was my family. Both of my parents and my grandparents are strongly rooted in their faith. I think that the most important impact that we can have on others is prayer, because I believe that we have no more powerful tool as a Christian than praying for others. Not only praying for people you like, praying for your enemies as well. Jesus prayed for his enemies. Even as he was hanging on the cross, he said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they're doing." We have a lot of opportunities in the game of football, because it's such a aggressive and violent sport, that you have a lot opportunity to get heated a lot. The way we respond to things like that, we have an opportunity to respond like the way Christ would. I try to use the influence that I have in the most positive direction that we can, because truthfully, we do have a lot of people looking up to us, even though we don't know.
Dreyer Physical Therapy Institute, leading the way to good health. Southern Accents is one of the nation's largest architectural salvage and restoration businesses. Visit our showroom to view our collection of antique doors, mantels, chandeliers, salvaged wood, and more. See our wood shop for your custom-built doors and wood flooring needs. Southern Accents, located in historic downtown Coleman. See us on the web at www.sa1969.com.
Many forces of nature threaten our homes, but one of the most menacing can't be forecast. Termites cause billions in damage homeowners insurance won't cover. So ask for Termidor, America's #1 termite defense. Nothing is faster or more effective.
Please, guys, kill me.
At Target Pest Control, we aim to please. We're the hometown guy that's big enough to do the job, but still small enough to care. For an appointment in Coleman, call 256-739-5487.
At Freedom Insurance Agency, helping you with the freedom to choose is what we do best. With more than 15 years' experience, Gloria Williams and the Freedom Insurance Agency is still providing affordable insurance for the residents of Coleman and surrounding counties. Get the peace of mind you deserve by protecting the things that matter most. Our friendly and experienced staff will be happy to give you a quote. Call today, 256-737-0011.
Time is running out on Truck Month at Bill Smith Buick GMC in Coleman, where you'll find the largest selection of GMC trucks in Alabama at prices lower than we have seen in years. Like this all-new 2012 Crew Cab 4x4 Z71 loaded with leather and turn-by-turn navigation. Only $32,990 with 0% financing for 72 months. And this regular cab GMC Sierra only $16,590 with 0% financing for 72 months. Or lease this 2012 Terrain only $339 a month. It's all going on now at Bill Smith Buick GMC in Coleman.
Well, welcome back to Beyond the Scoreboard, and as you saw the end segment there, that was Daniel Moss, the from Good Hope Raider. Very mature young man, one of the leaders of that program down there, and doing an excellent job. But we appreciate what he does for the program down there, and Then we'll, at a later time, we'll bring you Walt Guess's interview. Right now, though, we'd like to thank our sponsors again, Coke, Bill Smith, and Southern Accents. And as we thank those, next thing we want to do is go to our region standings so that we'll have an idea of how the regions are shaping up. So
yeah, and as we enter into the second half of the season, these things will start to take shape, and we can start to fill out some playoff brackets there as we get toward the end of the year. But really the only region we're going to have that had any changes in it is that 1A Region 6, and we'll go over those with you. It was Addison again tonight, a winner over Appalachian, 48-0. That moves Addison to 4-0 in their region. Of course, they're 5-0 overall, and Appalachian falls to 2-2 in that region. You have Faultville still undefeated in that region. They were winners tonight over Summerton Christian, 40-0. That means Summerton Christian falls to 2-2 in their region, 2-3 overall. We never got a Meek Marion County score, even though that's a non-region game for those guys. We don't have Raglan or Shades Mountain Christian. I feel confident Raglan probably was victorious in that game. But I do want to mention Southeastern. Even though it wasn't a region game for them, they get their first win in program history. Now, this is just their second year to play football, but they did get their first win tonight, so congratulations to them. Even though we don't know the score, we do know that they won.
I think it was like 34-8 or something like that, but I wasn't sure about it, so I didn't record it.
Now we move on to 2A Region 4. We'll give you the scores. It was Aliceville tonight, 18, falling to Pickens County, 54-18. That means Aliceville is still 3-0 in their region. Cold Springs, we told you tonight, they beat Lynn 68-34. They're 1-2 in the region. It was Hale County beating Greensboro tonight, 14-0. Hale County is 2-1 in region play. It was Oakman over Northside, 34-13. Oakman is 2-1 in that region, and it was Sologent tonight, falling to Fayette County by a score of 33-15. And Sologent's off to a rough start. They're 0-5 now, and of course winless in their region as well. Moving on to 3A Region 6, Brindley Mountain fell at Douglas tonight, 32-20, and Brindley Mountain is 1-2 in their region. Holly Pond, of course, we mentioned tonight, they had a tough loss there at Fairview, 47-14. They remain winless. We have New Hope, a winner over Good Hope tonight, 55-27. New Hope is undefeated in their region there in Class 3A. It was Pisgah falling to Section by a score of 21-0. Plainview beat Sandrock, or fell to Sandrock tonight, 27-21. So that means Pisgah's 2-1 in the region, Plainview's 2-1 in the region, and then we have Sylvania tonight. They lost to North Sand Mountain, and Sylvania is also 1-2 in that region. Moving on to 3A Region 7 that a lot of Coleman County is involved in. Cordova got their first win of the year tonight, 54-20 over Paris, but Cordova is still winless in their region. It was Danville falling to Priceville, 42-14. Danville's winless in their region. You had Good Hope tonight falling again. They got beat by New Hope. We mentioned that earlier, but Good Hope's region record didn't change, of course. They're 2-1. Hamilton is 2-1 in that region, and they got a big overtime win tonight over Gordo, 33-32 in 2 overtimes. Hanceville, we mentioned they beat West Point tonight, 45-22. They're one of those teams that's 2-1 in their region. Vinemont continues to stay 2-1 in the region. Even though they've lost the last 2 weeks, they still have an opportunity to bounce back and make a run at a region championship in the last part of the year, but they fell to Brewer tonight, 61-6.
And I think they've got several kids that are sort of on that injury list that they're still holding out, so maybe they'll get those back, or at least a couple of them back as they go into the tough part of their region play.
Yeah. You got Winfield falling to Haleville. Now, that's Winfield's first defeat on the year. Of course, they're still undefeated in that region. They're kind of leading that region, but Winfield has yet to play Hamilton. They haven't played Hanceville. They haven't played Vinemont, so they still got some tough region games coming up. And it was Winston County getting a win tonight over Carbon Hill by a score of 51-28. And Winston County is 1-2 in that region. So we got 2 more regions left to run down here. 4A Region 6. It was Crossville over DAR, 31-14 tonight, and Crossville is 0-3 in their region, I do believe. You've got Douglas. We mentioned they beat Brindley Mountain tonight, but Douglas is still winless in their region. They're now 1-4 overall. We've mentioned how Fairview beat Holly Pond tonight. Fairview's 1-2 in that region. They'll go to St. Clair County next week, and we didn't get a score for St. Clair County, I don't think, tonight. They were at Cleburne County, but nevertheless, we know St. Clair County is 2-1 in that region.
Guntersville give Fairview a chance to even their record. So.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, it'd be a head-to-head competition. They'd be ahead of them for a playoff spot.
Yeah. Now, this score surprised me a little bit tonight with Guntersville and Arab. Guntersville's off to a hot start. We know Arab's kind of off to a slow start, but Arab played them well. It wound up being Guntersville 33 and Arab 28. So Guntersville is in good shape in that region at 2-1. And, of course, Aniana is leading that region. They're 3-0, and they were winners tonight over Susan Moore by a score of 56-12. Finally, we have 5A Region 8. You had Athens tonight beating Austin 26-24. Athens is 3-2 overall, 1-2 in the region. Coleman had a tough road loss tonight against a talented Madison Academy team, obviously. But Madison Academy was able to beat them 28-10. And I know Coleman hates to have that blemish, but they're still undefeated in their region and have an opportunity to make a great playoff run.
And Madison Academy is the defending state 3A champion, and the last game they lost in football was last year to Coleman.
Right.
So they're on a fairly long win streak now. They've got a good football team.
And you've got East Limestone. They're 1-2 in the region, and they were winners tonight over James Clemens by a score of 32-14. Hartselle is 2-1 in their region, and they were actually winners last night over Decatur by a score of 13-10.
Big game. Hartselle had two weeks in a row. They played Coleman last week and Decatur this week, and those are two of their, that's their biggest two games probably.
Yeah.
And in Austin's a big game for them, so they have some really good competition.
You had Muscle Shoals going on the road to Walker County tonight, and they beat Dora by a score of 45-7. And Muscle Shoals is, of course, 3-0 in their region.
Unless I'm wrong, that would be the first score that Muscle Shoals has given up this year.
I'm not sure. I hadn't kept up with that.
I don't think anybody scored on them up until tonight.
It may be. Russellville beat Walker tonight, 20-14, and that moves Russellville to 2-1 in their region. And we've mentioned how West Point fell to Hanceville, and West Point is still winless in their region. But that 5A Region 8 is shaping up to be a showdown. It looks like between Muscle Shoals and Coleman, and I'm almost certain Muscle Shoals is the defending region champion. And they're a good ball team. I think they made a deep run in the playoffs last year. So.
And I believe, they did. And I believe next week Coleman hosts Russellville.
Okay.
And both of those had won tight, close ball games with Walker. So that should be a pretty even
That region
match.
there, and the 5A Region 8 is very similar to the 3A region that Good Hope and Vinemont and Winfield and all those guys are in. You've got excellent teams in there that would make good playoff teams, but one of them is going to be left at the house at the end of the year.
Right. Well, okay. Well, thank you for that update. And now we've got a segment that we all like here as well. It's called the Unsung Hero. And, there's a lot of things that it takes in order to have a successful football program, but even just to have the program, whether it's successful or not, you've got to have these things. And one of these things are the film people, the people who go out and film the games for us, because you can tell when you've got a good film guy and when you haven't. You can show your athletes what they're doing wrong or what they're doing right on the field by looking at that film and taking it and breaking it down and seeing what you as a coach are doing right and wrong as well.
Well, that's something I was going to mention is that, these guys who are filming the game, they're not filming just for memory's sake.
That's right.
But they're filming the game to give you an advantage, and they actually do. As you break those things down, you can put your players in the right position knowing what to expect.
Well, most of the film guys that we have across the county are usually people that have been there for, if not decades, for years. I mean, people who are doing this job. Now, we got a few new ones that we're breaking in, but, it just takes a lot of experience and a lot of patience and a lot of, you don't really get to watch the game while you're filming. So, you have to be dedicated to the program and feel good about watching a ball game maybe the next day on film, but it's hard to watch. And I think we have a couple of interviews with some film guys here that film one of them played for me and another one filmed for me. So I really respect these guys and I appreciate what they do so much. Tyler Jackson and Doug Bateman. So I think if you would, go ahead and run the films on those right.
Welcome to this week's Unsung Hero segment. I'm here with Tyler Jackson. He is the film guy here at Vinemont High School. We're here just before a big region matchup between them and the Huntsville Bulldogs. Just got a couple of questions we want to ask Tyler tonight. We'll start by just asking you, what really motivated you to get involved in this for the football team?
Well, you know, I've been a part of it all my life. You know, I love this place, so might as well come back and help out.
Exactly right. And you played football here at Vinemont, of course, and I'm sure there were times where, as you were preparing for an opponent, you had to sit down and watch some film. Just talk about the benefit of really examining your opponent before you play them.
Well, you know, it takes a good, you know, it's not too easy to work a camera, you know, to film, because we have some people, you know, that aren't very good. We might not get good film one time. But if you get real good film, you know, you can really see everything that happens, and it really helps you prepare.
Yeah. Do you think it gives a competitive advantage for your team if maybe you can see a tendency of an offensive lineman, or you know the tendency of this team when they get in that formation, those kind of things? Do you anything else that you could think of that gives an advantage?
Oh yeah, you know, just everything. Just seeing how everybody's reacting to the ball, how fast they're moving around, you know, it helps.
Exactly.
All of it helps.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. As you're filming, do you feel like you're more a part of the game, or do you find it difficult really to watch the game because you're focused on what you're doing?
Well, I feel like I'm a part of it, you know, because, I mean, you're right there in the moment, you know. You got that camera and you're zoomed in and you're right there, so it feels like you're playing again almost.
Well, I know that you're a big part of the football program here, whether you realize it or not, and I'm sure that there's not many people that realize it, but I know as a coach's son and as a former football player myself, the importance of having quality film where you can get those tendencies and just kind of know what to expect as you take the field. So on behalf of the coaching staff at Vinemont, I don't really know them that well, but I know that they appreciate what you do, and we just want to thank you.
All right. Yep. Thank you for your time.
All right, I've got Doug Bateman here with me. Doug was, I guess, probably did more filming for me than any other, well, all of them put together. He worked for me here at Vinemont for several years, and then when I went to Huntsville, he came down there the second year and joined me there. So, Doug, what made you decide to get into
Well, I wanted to help the program. I enjoyed the boys and just being around the young people. I love working with the young people.
Well, I guess while you was filming, you got to enjoy the games, didn't you?
Oh, well, I got to enjoy them after they were over, not during, because too much stress on trying to pay attention to everything that's going on, trying to anticipate what you coaches were calling.
Yes, I know what you mean. And then how many years did you do it at Vinemont? Do you remember?
There's about 3 or 4 years here at Vinemont.
Okay. And then down at Huntsville?
Well, I started the second year you came down there and went through last year, which was about 17 years.
17 years. Don't seem like I've been around that long.
I know it. But the 3 up here in 17, that puts me in about 20 years of enjoying it.
And what kind of pay did you get in those 20 years?
Well, I didn't get fussed at too much by the coaches, but most of the time it was just a thank you, and the young boys enjoyed watching the playbacks.
Well, I know it, you know, we've got to have those films at Saturday morning at 7 o'clock so I can hit the road and go swap with somebody. And I'm sure that no pressure there, was there?
Well, there were in the beginning, because we did it on the beta tapes, and then I had to change them over to VHS for you by 7 o'clock Saturday morning. So there's a lot of midnight oil burnt.
Yeah.
Transferring them over at that time.
Well, you know, from the coaching standpoint, we really appreciate it. We couldn't get by without the film guys. And most places, if they get a good one, they try to keep them, which is what I tried to do with him. As a matter of fact, I took him with me when I went to Huntsville that time. But I appreciate Doug and all he's meant to high school football in this area and in the state. And I know all those kids who now are enjoying those films at home, watching back in their hero days.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that it is keeping them from lying too much about how good they were.
There you go. It sort of keeps them halfway honest.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank
good
you,
to have
Coach.
you with us.
Time is running out on Truck Month at Bill Smith Buick GMC in Coleman, where you'll find the largest selection of GMC trucks in Alabama at prices lower than we have seen in years. Like this all-new 2012 Crew Cab 4x4 Z71 loaded with leather and turn-by-turn navigation. Only $32,990 with 0% financing for 72 months. And this regular cab GMC Sierra only $16,590 with 0% financing for 72 months. Or lease this 2012 Terrain only $339 a month. It's all going on now at Bill Smith Buick GMC in Coleman.
Southern Accents is one of the nation's largest architectural salvage and restoration businesses. Visit our showroom to view our collection of antique doors, mantels, chandeliers, salvaged wood, and more. See our wood shop for your custom-built doors and wood flooring needs. Southern Accents, located in historic downtown Coleman. See us on the web at www.sa1969.com. Wells Turner Family Pharmacy is a proud supporter of local city and county athletics. You can keep your money right here in Coleman because Wells Turner Family Pharmacy is locally owned and operated. At Wells Turner, you won't have to wait long to get your prescriptions filled, but while you're here, you can send a package by UPS, buy a gift in the gift shop, pay your phone bill, or develop your photos using our DKS photo kiosk. Wells Turner Family Pharmacy. We are a Health Mart community pharmacy.
One of these can be the most dangerous tools you can own, because if you're careless, even for a minute, this can come into contact with those. Then it's lights out. At our Touchstone Energy Cooperative, nothing is more important than the safety of our members. We can't do it all. The best way to be safe around outdoor power lines, just don't touch them. Ever. The first rule of every do-it-yourselfer should be do it safely.
Coleman Electric Cooperative.
Welcome back to Beyond the Scoreboard. Now we got something that I enjoy this part of the program. Sort of, I get your opinion on a lot of things, but Alabama plays Ole Miss tomorrow in Tuscaloosa. How's that going to be?
Alabama.
Alabama. Who does Auburn play?
Auburn doesn't play. They're not going to lose, I guarantee you.
They're going to do well tomorrow, okay. But they're going to get ready for Ole Miss.
That's right.
All right, Arkansas hosts Texas A&M.
A&M.
You going with A&M?
Yes, I am.
At Arkansas.
Yeah, even though Arkansas will probably run the ball kind of sufficient, they just will not be able to score enough points to beat A&M.
All right, LSU at Georgia.
If I went with football knowledge, probably LSU, but I got to go with my heart, and I really like Coach Rick, so I'm going to pick Georgia.
Okay, that should be a tough one. Then we got Mississippi State is off again tomorrow. Texas A&M, Florida versus Kentucky.
Florida will be breaking in a new quarterback, but they'll still beat Kentucky.
Yes, and they'll probably beat them pretty good too, won't they? All right. Then we got Missouri versus Arkansas State.
Missouri.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay. Arkansas State, you know, is sort of they're
not bad. It won't be easy, but Missouri will win.
All right. South Carolina's got UCF, University of Central Florida.
Yeah, which will be closer than probably what we think, but South Carolina they'll win.
All right. Now it's in UCF.
Yeah.
It's their stadium.
It's okay.
All right. You think South Carolina will be ready?
That's right.
You got to be mentally ready every time you go out there. Tennessee plays us South Alabama.
Tennessee.
All right.
But it'll be closer than people think.
Vandy and UAB?
Vandy, and it'll be closer than people think.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for joining us tonight on Beyond the Scoreboard, and I hope you'll be back next week for week number 6, and I'll have Robin Netherton helping me next week. But until then, we'll see you next week.
Hit it, man.